Hi there, this is Joe from SquareXO and this is episode 64. Today I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hey.
Rebecca's having a wee holiday, so have a good one, Rebecca. Enjoy your fish and chips on the beach.
Lucky for some.
Right, before we start, we'll go through our usual governance. Visit us on squarexo.co.uk for all our reviews. There's loads of them and articles. You can visit us on twitter.com/square_XO. And please back us on patreon.com/squarexo. And speaking of Patreon, we've reached our goal now, so we can start our awesome giveaway competition for Patreon-only members, which I'm quite pleased about. We're all pleased about that. If you back us on Patreon, there's loads of different tiers. You can get things like badges, t-shirts, mugs. We don't have any to show you at the moment, unfortunately, but we will show you eventually. So yeah, check it out because it's pretty awesome. And we're very pleased. So thank you everyone so far, by the way, who's backed us. Brilliant.
We should say thank you to Insert Coin for providing us a 10% discount for all of our Patreon backers above $5. Yeah. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have another offer that we can give to our $5 plus tier as well. Woo! From another retailer. So yeah, giving back. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. Okay. And with that, we're going to start. Okay, so coming up on the show today, we've got some gaming news. Then we'll just go on to our topic slowly, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing, and also go play a wee fun game, and then we'll just wrap it up. I think that's about it. And then I think everyone's away to watch the football or something like that. Apparently, there's some team playing. Don't know what they're called, but they're probably not as good as the team in the flag behind me.
The team that didn't get into the World Cup.
Yeah, that rubbish. Okay, anyway, let's go on with gaming news. None of that. Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually in development, apparently. So it's not just them sitting about talking about it. It's actually being made as we speak. It's not just in the early stages. Nomara said, we're actually in development. So there you go. We might see it in about 10 years after all.
Yeah, PS5 launch game or something. Yeah. PS6. Yeah. Why not?
Fortnite has added a football stadium to the map. And speaking of Fortnite, there's been a bit of controversy, as we may have all heard, that it's blocking you from playing on Switch if you're currently signed up to PS4. You basically need to create a new account. I don't have a problem with it, personally, but I know a lot of people do. I think, see, from my point of view, Sony's a company. They're going after their own business. And I think it was this Game Over Greggy guy, he tweeted, you're making me want to switch to Xbox, Sony, by not letting me play on what do you call it, on PS4 and also on Switch. And I said to him, what does Sony care about Switch? If you've bought the game and you've paid for it on a PlayStation, then you're giving them your money. They don't care. They don't want you to go somewhere else and give somebody else your money. So that's a daft argument, in my opinion. Oh, you're making me work playing Xbox because I can't play on Switch. Bye then. Go on. Do you know what I mean? If, say, for instance, I bought a game on PlayStation and it also let me play on Switch, so I think to myself, right, I'm playing PlayStation, this is great, let me give it a wee go on Switch, and then I go to Switch, and I think, actually I like this better, I'm going to buy another game on Switch. There goes my customer, aren't they? So sometimes I don't get people's logic. I mean, I can understand why everybody wants to be able to play cross-play on different systems, but at the end of the day, a business is a business, and they've got to go after number one first, so I have no problem with it. I just think it's a bit of a stupid argument, but I can also understand that it's nice to be able to play cross-play, but I mean, I don't know. There's no point. You never kind of get through people. Okay, what are we on about here? What's this news? Cyberpunk. It's in first person, which is something that was revealed last week, and I was just reading why they said it was in first person. And the developers was telling Eurogamer that with Witcher 3, you're playing Geralt and you're watching Geralt and you're controlling Geralt. So he's a character. He's somebody who's already exists. In Cyberpunk, they wanted to put you in the shoes and in the body of a character you're controlling, so you feel like this character. So first person is one way to do that. Plus, the world was beautiful, so they wanted to give people a greater sense of immersion.
Yeah, because everyone's getting I saw quite a few people on my Twitter feed getting a bit kind of riled up about the fact it was announced as first person, not third. So
yeah, I think that's just... I was surprised, I have to say. I just expected it to be a Witcher in a cyberpunk world. So, but I mean, I'll give it a chance, I guess. Telltale Games is working on a Stranger Things game. I don't know if anyone's excited, but I've never watched Stranger Things.
I don't know. I don't like it just because of how badly like Game of Thrones was done. So I'm a bit dubious, but I do like Stranger Things, so I'll probably pick up and give it a go anyway. But
I quite like Game of Thrones. I thought it's alright.
No,
I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so.
Yeah, no, like apparently it just wasn't compared to the series. Obviously, Telltale didn't really kind of. I just don't think they did it very well. That's all. But
yeah, it was a bit cheesy, but I still enjoyed it for some reason. I don't know why. Ghost of Tsushima will have Japanese audio track option, so you can kind of have that as an option if you want. Something that Dan might like, I guess.
Well, should have, shouldn't it? It's set in Japan. They don't all speak English.
Yeah, I thought you might like
news.
that. That's fine. Overcooked 2 is coming later this summer. That's probably something we glanced over in all our E3 videos. I'm not sure that many of us mentioned that, so it's pretty cool that we're going to see Overcooked 2, because that's a pretty cool game. I still don't think... Everybody makes a big deal of it being on Switch, but I still think it being on PlayStation's better, because it's so much easier to sit down in front of the TV with your DualShock controllers and play it together. I kind of get how you can do it with Switch with the Joy-Cons, but I don't find trying to use one of them in my hands very comfortable. It's got tiny.
Quite intense, isn't it, that game as well?
Yeah, so I don't know. I prefer it in PS4. I haven't played it on there, but I mean, I'm sure everybody's got their own preferences. This was quite an interesting story. New technology means enemies in The Last of Us Part 2 will know each other by name. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking to Eurogamer again, he says, the developer said, there's some new tech that we're exploring where AI will know each other's names. They're used in certain moments. You see it in the trailer. One of them is called Ethan. When they meet up, they recognise each other. That just sounds bizarre, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like a waste, doesn't it? Because all you're going to do is kill them.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
Oh, I know him. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
They're all gone. Okay. And finally, the gaming news. The gaming news? The gaming charts. This is the gaming news. The gaming charts. It's earlier than usual and I'm still saying it wrong. God of War was number 1 this week, actually. Back to number 1. So that's quite interesting. That was number 3 last week. FIFA bumped itself up to number 2. Fallout 4, number 3. Maybe that's the sort of Fallout from Fallout 76.
Yeah, that, and I think the season pass went on sale as well in the Days of Play sale. I think it went down to £20, so that's probably why people are jumping on that.
And then Detroit Become Human, number 4. PlayStation VR Worlds has jumped up to number 5. That's probably thanks to the sales on PlayStation VR where it was down to $199. GTA is back in the top 10 at number 6.
Rebecca's not here to celebrate.
No, Mario Kart number 7. Vampire, which was last week's number 1, number 8. Assassin's Creed Origins is at number 9. And finally, Call of Duty World War thingy-majigger. Whatever you might call it. That's at number 10.
Gosh.
Okay, so there we go. That's the gaming news. There's not a great deal this week, but that's because it was E3 last week, so it's absolutely just slowing down a bit while everybody comes home from E3 on the flights. Or as I've seen a lot of them do, sort of take a detour to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's
quite nice. So yeah, it's nice that some get a break. Wish I could have a holiday. Okay, so yeah, So now we're going to go on our topic, and because Rebecca's not here, I'm just going to introduce it. So this week's topic is games that you have played, or that, well, for instance, games that I have played, I think everyone else should play. So I guess we could call it games you've not played, but you should. So I'm not going to start. I'm going to let Dan start on that one.
Oh, thanks. Throw me in at the deep end. It's difficult. Oh, I take it we talk this gen.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Back. Yeah. So I think there's been a few possible overlooked games. But the thing is, we've spoken about them quite a lot because we only speak about what we play on the podcast. So people already know what we play. So it's a little bit counterintuitive. But I think more people should play Cat Quest. I think that it probably didn't get as big of an audience as maybe what it deserved. I know you've played it, Nick. I don't think you have, Joe, have you? So nope. I'd recommend that. It's not very long, it's not very hard, but it's quite a nice game. The world's quite cool. Simple.
Sell it.
Yeah, I've got it. I don't want
chance to sell it. That's
just
the whole point.
That'd do. That is just play it. I was just looking at my collection really. I think Knack 2 got a real bad press as well. I thought that was quite good. More people should maybe try that if they're umming and ahhing, if you like a platformer. I can't think of any more off the top of my head. I'll have another look. I don't know, because I tend to think most of the games I've played are probably the bigger ones.
Yeah.
So, not many smaller games are released anymore, are they? Really?
No.
I think. Can't think of any other hidden gems off the top of my head, though. Maybe someone... Go on, Nick, you tell us a couple of yours, and then it might bring out some of ours, if you've got any.
I'm trying to think. I'd say one that Joe will probably agree with is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
But do you not think loads of people would have played that already?
Well, no, because equally as many people have played it, loads of people didn't because of the whole loot crate thing. So everyone kind of just dismissed it at first glance, thinking that it was kind of, obviously at the start it was intended to be kind of littered with microtransactions, and it's like they punished EA for even considering putting it in the game. So everyone kind of overlooked it when it had a really, really good story. The multiplayer was such a step up from the first one. And I think too many people kind of cast this aside just because of everything that happened at the start. And I think they kind of went in basing their opinion of it off of all of that as opposed to making their own. So I just think that's probably at the top of my list. I'm trying to think of other ones. Owlboy, actually, is probably one.
Yeah.
Because I know it's got quite a good reception, but it's one of those games at the moment. Obviously, loads and loads and loads of 2D platformers are being released, and they're all kind of trying to honor older retro titles, and they're heavily inspired by them. And it's kind of, a lot of them feel like they're just trying to remind you of these games as opposed to be their own game. And I find that Owlboy kind of mastered the art of actually getting its own identity and being its own game, and it had like a really good story in that, and I was honestly surprised by how much I was moved by it. And I think again loads of people would just throw it aside thinking, oh, it's just another 2D platformer, there's so many, it's just going to be one of them. It really wasn't, and I was really, really surprised by how much I liked it, and I kind of wish other people would play it. So
yeah, I think another one then off the top of my that you remind me of there is Tearaway. So it was released on the Vita, and it got really good reviews, and I think probably everyone who owns a Vita probably ended up buying it. Or it was quite highly sold on Vita. Then they ported it to PS4, and I think most people probably ignored it on PS4. It actually works really well on PS4. They've utilised the DualShock 4's functions in it, so the touchpad works on it, and the microphone and things like that, and the gyro. So and it's, although it is still Tearaway and it is a port, it stands up on its own legs, and I'd say that that's probably one that didn't sell quite or very well, and I think that was well worth looking at if you like kind of 3D platformers, especially if you were disappointed by Yooka-Laylee. I think you jump on Tearaway because it is far superior.
Yeah. Definitely. I think I've got 3, but 2 are really recent. Like I'd say one of them, even though it got to number 1 in the charts, would be Vampire, because I don't think, even though it got in #1 charts, I've got a funny feeling it never maybe set the world on fire in terms of sales. But I just think it's such a great game. It's so good, and it just strikes me, whether, like I say, I'm not sure of sales, but it just strikes me as one of these games that people probably wouldn't give it a go.
Yeah.
Whereas it's actually really good. I mean, the world's interesting. The genre of vampires is something that's not really touched that much, and it's done really well. I just love the setting. The combat I really like, although I do think that certain people don't like the combat. But I think it's really good. So yeah, that's one I definitely recommend that you play. Also, another recent one is On Rush. Now, I know this one didn't sell very well at all, probably because the beta was terrible, but it's actually a brilliant game. I know you can't race to the finish line and get to #1 or whatever, but there's just the game modes they do have. It's got the new Motorstorm, that's what it's like. But it's brilliant. It's just frantic. It looks good. It's loads of bashing. Oh, brilliant. I just love that frantic action where you can just smash things to bits and you just don't need to think about it. I love games like that where you just kind of push the button and then just sort of drift away, not really thinking about what you're doing as chaos goes on all around you. Yeah, so that's definitely one. And another one, an older one, is Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Now, we're all a bit sad about Ninja Theory being bought up by Microsoft, and that's one of their best games they've made, to be honest, and it was so overlooked by everyone. I don't know how well it scored. I know I scored it well, but
it scored well, I think, quite generally. Yeah.
It just didn't sell well, and it was such a good game. So if Microsoft somehow get it, I don't know who owns the IP, whether I know Namco published it, maybe. I don't know who owns the...
Based on a book as well, wasn't it? So I don't know whether...
So it could very well be that it's the IP is owned by the people who have the book, and maybe that's just the way it is. So, but if Microsoft can bring it back, remaster it for Xbox, that's one I'll definitely be buying, because I thought it's a great game. Or give us a sequel or something. Other than that, I can have a look at my shelf.
Hidden Agenda would be one for PlayLink if people are,
good.
Got a few friends around and want to do something on multiplayer but don't want to concentrate too much. And I think you can get it for like a $5 or $2.50 or something ridiculous now. All those PlayLink games are real cheap. So Hidden Agenda was really good.
Interesting as well.
If you've not played Darksiders as well, that's just brilliant.
Oh wait, I've actually got one. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris. That game was absolutely phenomenal. So it was. Do you remember when Lara Croft went bird's eye view and it was like
isometric, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the funniest co-op games I think I've ever played. So like, I remember playing with my stepbrother, and you have characters that have different abilities, so you kind of get around the setting that way, like using teamwork. And so Lara has a grapple. I know so many times when I was playing with like my stepbrother, he'd have me like suspended over like a pit of spikes using the grapple, and he'd just like release the grapple whilst I was over the spikes to try and troll me or something. Yeah. And it was just such a good game, and the kind of teamwork they implemented in it was so clever. And I think it was just overlooked because it wasn't your kind of traditional Tomb Raider game. But it was really, really good. Really good. I love that game.
When games kind of use a well-established name to sell something slightly different, it goes one of two ways, doesn't it? It either sells well and people are disappointed because it's not the game that's on the tin, or it sells rubbish because it isn't the original game. So calling it Tomb Raider was a bit of a poison chalice, I think. Maybe if it was released as something else, it would have done better, but then maybe it would have been overlooked at the same time.
I just think there's just so many games out there that probably haven't sold that well, that if you've played them, you probably think to yourself, wow, why is that not sold well? That's so good. I mean, another game I can think of that no one liked, apart from me, it seems, was Lost. Now I love the TV series. And I'd pure scored the game mega high. I was thinking, that's fantastic. I love the way it'd been done, and everybody else pure trashed it. And I'm thinking,
I didn't even know it existed.
No,
I just thought it was a great game. I really, really liked it. It's published by Ubisoft. I think somehow I got it before everyone else. I don't know how. I don't know if it's... I got it... I don't know where it came from. I don't remember. But someone sent me it before anybody else reviewed it. And I never knew there was an embargo. So I posted my review. And it got tons of views because I gave it a really good score. Then everybody else brought out their reviews and pure trashed it. But I thought it was great, so that's one to look out for if you ever see it sitting about.
Gravity Rush 2 is another one I think that didn't do very well at retail, and I don't think many people were up for it, but it was a good game.
Really good.
There's just so many. You could probably go on forever. The more you think about it, the more they'll all just come back to you.
Yeah.
About how many there are. But we won't go on too long because we can move on. It's Nick's turn to shower us with some questions anyway.
Yes, right. So we have our user questions this week. I have got them on my phone, so I'm not being like ignorant. Okay, so our first question is from Llama Fluff 42. Thomas, good old Thomas, who has a couple of questions for us. So I don't know if you want to kind of go over them quickly. But he says he wants to know if we picked up anything in the Days of Play sale first off. Anyone?
No.
No.
I don't think I have either. Unless I bought stuff without knowing again.
Didn't you buy the order?
Oh, was that in the sale?
Yeah.
Banging, I bought that then. There we go. Question. Thanks, Dan, for answering on my behalf. Okay, so his second question is, have any of your initial E3 opinions changed since, obviously, because we've seen more footage of Spider-Man since it was shown. So I don't know if anyone's opinions have changed on anything since E3.
I've not seen anything. I've not had time or chance to look at anything from the actual show floor. So
yeah, I'm with you.
I think all I would say is, because I did watch some videos, so I watched the one where you paint the town. I can't remember what the name of that one is again. It's completely... Concrete Genie, that's what it's called. I saw some of that. I don't know if my opinions changed, but my opinions on it's kind of got a bit... went from, that looks interesting, to, I want that now. And I think Dreams as well, I could maybe say that about, because I watched some show for footage of Dreams as well, and that actually looks quite interesting because it shows you the games people have made, and they actually look quite good, really good quality, like in proper indie games. So I'm thinking, that could be quite good, getting all these indie games in one package. Yeah, so that as well.
Yeah.
But I think I watched some others, but I think they're the two that kind of stood out, because I was already excited about Spider-Man stuff anyway. So yeah. I'd say those two.
Okay. So finally, he asks, when would you like to see PS5? He says personally he's in no hurry. Personally, I don't want to see it for a little while, because I'm really happy with my PS4 at the moment. I'm getting everything I need from that. So
I'll take it at Christmas. I'll take it next month. I'll buy it next month. I'd buy it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have it whenever, but I'm quite happy to wait. But if it comes out tomorrow, I'm in the queue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay, so moving on. Our next question is from Jack Croxall, who asks, he says, it's your 64th episode. What classic N64 game or franchises would you like to see rebooted or remastered for current generation? The only games I can think about for N64 would be, there was a Star Wars game I played that was perhaps my go-to game, like in that era. I loved that game so much. I remember flying a snow speeder around an AT Walker, and it was awful graphics, and Wampas weren't even scary because they were all like shoddy graphics, but it was such a good game. And that, and the James Bond game, was it GoldenEye that was on N64?
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Making the heads big, because I was scared of shooters back then when I was younger. If it wasn't Crash Bandicoot, I was scared of it. So I used to make the heads really big, and I thought that game was absolutely fantastic. Such a good game.
Yeah, there were loads of good games on the N64, but it's probably more I was at that age where I was getting into games. So Turok would be a good one to probably reboot. So kind of a decent dinosaur shooter. There was a game called Mystical Ninja Goman, which was like a really crazy Japanese RPG where you were a man with blue hair and you could drive a massive mech robot and kind of destroy ancient Japan. That was cool. There was a racing game called Beetle Adventure Racing. So it was all Volkswagen Beetles, and the courses were all like there was multiple routes to go around the track, basically. So that was quite cool. So they'd be good. Yeah, there were loads. I can't remember. There was one called Body Harvest, which was basically like Grand Theft Auto, but on Mars. And that was quite interesting, but I remember it being really hard. So, yeah, I'll say those for now. Because all the things like Mario 64 and Zelda have all been done and done and done and kind of fed up with, you know. Get Rare to remaster some of theirs. Get Banjo-Kazooie or Diddy Kong Racing. You know, that'd be quite good.
I never had an N64, Sega and PlayStation for me. I never really owned any Nintendos until the Wii probably, or the DS, something like that. So no, I don't know. I can't answer that question.
Fair enough. Righto. So our next one is from GBU, who says, with Microsoft announcing the acquisition of 5 studios, something which will hopefully improve the quality of those studios' titles, which studios do you wish Sony would purchase? Now, I'm going to jump straight in with Insomniac Games, because the fact that they haven't been bought by Sony straight up is, I'm completely confused as to why they haven't, because they literally do titles primarily for Sony. They do some for other consoles, but they're kind of where they live. So the likes of Ratchet and Clank and that they're all part of PlayStation. I mean, I understand that obviously they want to kind of have their own identity and stuff, and they want to be able to kind of go on different platforms. But I think with Sony's backing, I think they could do a lot more with like franchises like Ratchet and Clank, which is primarily why I'm saying this.
Is it a bit worrying that they haven't been bought with Microsoft sort of working now?
I don't think they would allow Microsoft to buy them. I'd like to think that anyway, but because if Ratchet and Clank goes Xbox, I will be quite sad.
I don't think Ratchet and Clank can go to Xbox because I think that's a Sony IP. So I don't think that could go, but just the fact the developer could go is a bit...
It's daunting. It's daunting.
But who else could Sony buy? I mean,
Nintendo, please. That'd be my answer.
Yeah,
they got enough money to.
Well, what about somebody like Sucker Punch?
But they already released games on it anyway, so I don't see.
Have they not already got Sucker Punch? I swear I saw an article saying they had them.
I'm not sure.
Or Sony. I know Microsoft owned Rare and ruined Rare, and now what Rare release isn't as good as what it once was. But maybe if Sony gave them free reign to make some good stuff, that would be a good one.
I'm not sure. I thought maybe I'm thinking who done The Order again?
Ready at Dawn.
That's it. Maybe it was them. I'm thinking of rather than Sucker Punch. Ready at Dawn. I don't think they're a Sony studio yet. Maybe Sucker Punch already are. Sorry, Sucker Punch are a Sony studio. I got that wrong. But I was thinking of Ready at Dawn. Yeah, so maybe them.
I looked at what they were working on because obviously quite expecting a sequel to The Order being announced or something along those lines. But looking at what Ready at Dawn have been doing since The Order, it hasn't really... I think they look... I can't remember if they were PC games, but they're certainly not anything any good or anything that anyone's heard of. So I don't know what's happened to them.
Yeah, they're working on something different, aren't they? Something completely different. But it's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, you could say somebody like obvious, like whole games or something, or somebody a bit sort of smaller along those lines. Do you know what I mean? But it's a tough one. It's hard to know who they could really buy, who the obvious choice is. I mean, I think Nicole had it in the head with Insomniac Games. They seem the most obvious fit, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit tough. I mean, Ninja Theory would probably have been a good fit as well.
But it's too late.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I don't know. Good question anyway. Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So our next one is from Houster34, who says, is the hype for Death Stranding just because it's Kojima? For me, it looks absolute garbage. Even the graphics look terrible. Yeah, it's got so much hype. Now, I think the appeal for me with Death Stranding is not only Norman Reedus, but just I think the game makes no sense from what we've seen so far, and I think to me that's what's intriguing about it, is I want to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together and see what the game is about, because it looks completely absurd from all the trailers. It looks to make absolutely no coherent sense whatsoever. But I'm really excited to play it, to, like I say, kind of put all the bits of the puzzle together and see the big picture. So,
Dan?
Yeah, I think the hype is Kojima. I don't think there's any... If it was being made by another developer, the looks would get spoken about, because I disagree. I think the graphical fidelity on the human characters is amazing.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
But I think the fact that it is Kojima and his legacy and the games he's created in the past and the way he's utilised hardware has been revolutionary. So I think the hype is around that, and the fact of what he could bring to the table in terms of integrating that game into the real world, into your hands, kind of thing.
Yeah, personally, I think the game looks weird. I don't like Kojima games at all. I think they're boring. So yeah, I'm not interested. I just think it's kind of what I expected from him, and it's something that's no interest to me whatsoever. There you go.
Fair enough. Sweep in there with your controversial view. Right, so our last question is from My Name is Lisa, who has stolen a question from the Bunker Buddies, not Bunker Bodies, Bunker Buddies podcast. And she says, if you were trapped in a bunker for 1 to 5 years and could only take one film, one TV show, one book, and one video game, what would they be? Who wants to get the ball rolling?
Well, you'd have to take Fallout, wouldn't you? If you're stuck in a bunker. No, I wouldn't take that. I would take Skyrim or the new Elder Scrolls game, Elder Scrolls 6. What would... one movie? Was that, or TV show?
Yeah, it's one film, one TV show, one book, one video game.
Oh, film. The film's a tough one. High Fidelity. I know that's probably not what you expected me to say whatsoever, but I absolutely love that movie. I think it's brilliant.
I've not seen it. Is that John Cusack?
Yeah, I really like that movie. It's one of my favourites ever. I've got a lot of good favourite movies. Obviously, I'm a big Star Wars fan and stuff, but for some reason, I just really like that movie. I could watch it again and again and again, so I'll take that. Book, I don't know. Book, I've got quite a lot of favourite books. I'd probably take The Hobbit. I like that. That's one of my favourites. The Hobbit's great.
Yeah.
And did I say my film? No, I did say my film. TV series. Game of Thrones. There we go. Boom.
What about you, Dan?
I'd go film Gladiator, although it might make me a bit emotional. Keep watching that in that bunker. TV show Red Dwarf. So I could watch Gladiator, be sad, and then watch Red Dwarf and have a laugh.
Red Dwarf's awesome.
Books. I don't read, so I don't know. Maybe Yellow Pages, just in case I run out of toilet paper.
Yellow Pages. Wow.
Use it as a cushion. I don't know what, but I don't know. Can I take a magazine? I'll take like the latest issue of official PlayStation magazine.
You could just take Design for Dummies or something.
I don't need that though. I'm not a dummy.
Something like that. Some design book.
Nah, I won't take I could just take. I'll take a Yellow Pages because then it can be used for firewood or fire paper as well. And then a video game. That's real tough.
Yeah.
I'd probably take The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, one game's tough. Yeah, that'd do. Let's take that.
Right.
Although you could take Persona because by the time you get through the credits, you'd be out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right, I'm trying to think. Film, The Lion King. 'Cause I don't know why it's one of those films I can just watch over and over and over and over again. And I don't know why I'm torn between that and The Empire Strikes Back, but I'll just go with Lion King. TV show has to be Friends, because again, it's something I could watch over and over again. I've gone through the box set God knows how many times. Book, probably, I don't know which it would be, but a Darren Shan book, just because I don't know, they're very nostalgic for me. They were like a real kind of teen. Have you even ever heard of them, Darren Chan?
No.
Okay, they were
No
like
idea.
it's like a horror book series about like vampires and stuff, and it was actually really, really good, and it was a big part of my childhood. So I take that for a bit of nostalgia if I had to take a book, and a video game. If it wasn't Ratchet and Clank 2, I would hate myself. So yeah, that would be my game. But yeah, that's our user questions, Joe.
Yes, thanks very much everyone for your questions. They were great. So now we're just going to move over to Dan, who's going to talk about what we've been playing, and he's going to kick us off, I think, with what he's been playing.
Why not? So I've been trying to do this get a trophy a day for 11 days for the Days of Play competition that they've been running. So I haven't been playing much, but I've played something every day. So according to the BBC, I'll be addicted to get these trophies to enter the competition. So I've previously played a game called League of Evil, which I've spoken about before, which was on PS Vita. So I've downloaded that on PS4 because the trophy list is easy. So if I didn't have much time to play, then I could just jump in, get a trophy and turn it off. Yeah. So I've been playing that, which is the kind of the 2D, I'd say ultra hard, just platformer. You just die a lot, but it's not massively hard. I've been playing, and I need to review at some point, Horizon Chase Zero, which is that racing game, Joe, that you kind of see the screenshots I posted up, which is quite cool. It's got a really good look, quite a retro feel to it. It's basically, do you remember Mario Kart and the SNES where the character's static but the track moves under you? I don't know what the technical term is for a racer like that. So basically the car's pretty much central in the screen all the time, and then the track moves and you still move on the track, but that's just the way it goes, or the way it works. And that's quite cool. It's quite hard, especially as you get further into the game. So I've been playing that, but yeah, like I say, it looks really nice. I'd recommend it from what I've played. And then I've played a little bit of Okami HD, which Rebecca reviewed way back in December when it was released. Yeah. And it's just been in my backlog for so long. Finally kind of cleared God of War to be able to play that. So yeah, bits and pieces, nothing major. And I've got nothing really major lined up. Hopefully I'll get Owl Boy in the next couple of days.
You should.
On Nicole's recommendation. But yeah, I'm just clearing through things now, really. I've got Tearaway to go back to as well.
Yeah. To be honest, I've not really played that. What with FIFA3 and the site's been quite busy and the football's been on, I've kind of not really played that much in the past week. I've had to go on Rush, but I think that's about it, really. But I've already talked about that, so there's no point me waffling on about it again. But yeah, I think it's about it. I've lined up, I've maybe got the Crew 2, and I'm going to do the Life is Strange. I'll review both of those, so...
Oh yeah, there's that Captain Underpants or whatever it is, isn't there?
Yeah, so I'll do a review for both of those. But yeah, apart from that, it's a bit... No, I've not really, because I've just been too busy to play games, so there we go.
Are we hitting the summer lull now with releases as well? Exactly. I don't really know what's coming. I
quite like that sometimes, though, the little lull where you can just go, just have a wee chill and just kind of not do anything, except just laze about. It's quite good.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick?
I'm trying to think. So I played, obviously, I talked about it in our topic, so I won't really go over it, but I played and reviewed Owl Boy. Like I said, absolutely amazing game. If you haven't played it, play it. I've also, yesterday, I played a game called Far From Noise, and it's an indie visual novel, and it's basically, you play as someone who's driven their car off the edge of a cliff, and it's hanging on the edge of the cliff, so it's not actually off the cliff, it's hanging.
Yeah.
And obviously they're there kind of trying to call for help in that, and a deer approaches, and you end up having a conversation about, a really kind of philosophical, in-depth conversation with the deer, who can talk about life and its meaning, and it sounds absolutely absurd, but it's such a fantastic game. It's $5.49 on the PlayStation Store, and I'd recommend it. It's not that long. It's about just shy of 2 hours. and it's really, really good. It goes in depth, and it's got a lot of kind of relatable messages, and it kind of talks about how we miss the beautiful things in life where we're constantly kind of anticipating death, which sounds really miserable when I say it. But
what was it called?
Far from Noise. It's really, really good game. And other than that, I have been one of the people that has gone back to Fallout 4. I've just been playing through some of that after seeing Fallout 76 announced, trying to finish it up, and that's literally all I've played. I've not been playing much. I've been quite busy, so but yeah.
Cool.
Okay, right. Okay, time for a bit of fun now. You may
because the rest of the show wasn't.
Yeah.
You may remember, long-time listeners may remember our Amazon game where we used to just pick a review from Amazon and we had to try and guess what it was that the people were reviewing. This is similar, but this one we're calling Guess the Game. Basically, it takes reviews from Metacritic, and you need to guess what game they're talking about.
Okay, are these reader reviews or are they press?
They're mixed. Because some of the press reviews give away what the game is by having the name of it in it, because they're well written, unlike the user reviews, I'm afraid. So they're kind of mixed. So the first one is up on the screen now. I think this one is not too hard, but I'd say I've got 3 of them to show you, and they're all fairly difficult, I would say. I've not went easy, put it that way. Right, so this is the quote. See if you can guess what it is. You two listeners. A dark and engaging adventure with an excellent combat system, an ideal dose of innovation and fascinating exploration. I can read that again if you want.
Is it bloody Darksiders 2?
Nope.
I know you.
Countdown.
Don't do that.
Is it current gen? Can we narrow that down?
Read it again.
What's that?
Is it current gen?
It's current gen, yes. A dark and engaging adventure with an excellent combat system, an ideal dose of innovation and fascinating exploration. Said that quite well.
Gosh.
Going to limit you. I've got 10 seconds to guess.
I can't think anything.
I don't know. Something like Hellblade or... I don't know.
That was quite close. No. Okay. Rebecca's going to kill you. It was Bloodborne.
No one cares about Bloodborne when she's not here.
I had to put that in. No, I had to.
Right,
the next one is pretty funny. This is a user review. I'd completely disagree with it, but there you go. Yeah, this game is not good. It's got a unique premise behind it, but gameplay falls short in a lot of areas, especially the combat. There was a hint in there, by the way. Yeah, this game is not good. It's got a unique premise behind it, but the gameplay falls short in a lot of areas, especially the combat.
Is this Fallout 4?
No.
What falls short? Falls short.
These are quite hard.
They are.
Gosh.
I wonder if anyone will guess what they are. You're not allowed to say you guessed, by the way, viewers. If you waited to the end and I told you what it was. So you need to tell us if you guessed before you hear the answer. Especially the combat. That's my little hint. Especially...
Oh, Mortal Kombat?
No.
What more of a hint could there be?
You obviously weren't listening to the whole podcast. Otherwise you'd have got that one. Maybe. I don't know.
I've been here all podcast.
Just giving you another hint. Think of the games we've been talking about.
Not Darksiders again.
Ever remember me mentioning combat?
No.
Hang on.
Oh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was Vampire.
God's
Right.
sake.
This one is the hardest of the lot.
Oh, great.
The other ones were a breeze.
Well, this is
Here
saying
we
it's
go.
good.
If you get this one, you get bonus points. If you absolutely love simulators and really appreciate realism and the little details in games, then this will really grip you. But at the same time, many will find the game far too frustrating and unforgiving because of both the intense focus on realism that doesn't always result in fun gameplay experiences and the number of bugs and severe loading times. There's a compelling game here, but it needs a polished edge only a series of patches or a sequel can deliver. We can't wait for either.
Gran Turismo Sport would be the first thing I think of.
No, you're nowhere near it.
What else is realistic?
I'll give you a hint. It's a fantasy game.
So how can it be real? Okay. The Witcher?
No, think more recent.
More recent. Okay.
There's not that many fantasy RPGs out there. Recent ones, anyway.
I don't really.
That's the biggest hint you could get in the world.
But I don't know what you class as fantasy, because technically anything non-fiction is fantasy, or anything fiction, sorry.
Well,
is
when I
fantasy.
say fantasy, I mean fantasy.
Yeah. So, like Horizon, would you class that as fantasy?
Nope. I class Skyrim as fantasy.
That wasn't like a mega hint or something, was
Yeah,
it?
is it Skyrim?
No, it's not Skyrim, but I couldn't give you any more hints. It's just too. What do you call it? It's too easy now.
For you, because you know the answer. I've got no idea. I don't play these games.
Okay, it's Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh, I would never have got that.
No, I forgot that game existed.
Yeah, only weirdos played that.
Don't forget that game existed. That comes back to my topic earlier on. That's a brilliant game. I didn't expect to like it. It's brilliant. So there you go. That's our wee game. That was fun. Maybe I should make it easier next week.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe do the reviews where they write what the game is in the text.
But yeah,
they did. There was loads that did that, and I'm thinking, no, I need to make it more difficult than that. I could say blank and then say what it is after that. I could fill the name in with a blank, but nah, that was fun. Right, let's see how it goes next week. I like that. Okay, yes, that's about. I think we're just about time to wrap up. I think. Let us know in the Twitter comments if you got any of them right, by the way, before you heard the answer, because that'll be interesting to know. I want to know if you got them right. And yeah, so before we go, I think you got anything to say, Dan, about Patreon or anything?
Give a shout out to our Patreon patrons: Thomas McInnes, Katie Johnston, Jason Park, Carl Jennings, Matthew Atherton, and Sean Mobsby. Thank you very much, everybody, for believing and supporting in us.
Yes,
and keep your eyes peeled over the next couple of days for some more stuff on Patreon.
Great, thanks. Right, before we go then, don't forget to follow us on twitter.com/square_XO, bags on patreon.com/squarexo. Check out our merchandise on squarexo.co.uk/merchandise. And of course, check out all our reviews and stuff on squarexo.co.uk. If you think our podcast, videocast, deserves some more listens, then hit that like button, subscribe, give us a review on iTunes if you're listening there, and some 5 stars. The more you like us and subscribe and leave reviews, the more we're found, and that means that we get more patrons, and it means we can do more stuff. So yeah, it's a benefit for all. So if you're a fan, hit the button.
Don't forget to enter the screenshot competition as well.
Yes, that too. See, there's so much going on, you forget it all. Share your screenshots on Twitter with SquareXO. June we're in.
Yeah, hashtag SQXO June.
Do it.
Just.
Right, and I say hashtag let's go, because that's what Stephen Gerrard says.
Gosh.
He's the man. Okay then, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.